This week I'm sharing 3 vibrant, flavorful, gorgeous workout balance bowls with you. Full recipes can be found in the description of this video. For more of my balanced bowls, you can head over to my website, go and check out my ebook, which is also called Balanced Bowls, along with all of my other recipe ebooks. I love hearing feedback from you, so drop me a comment, let me know which one you will be trying out first. Let's jump straight into the first workout balanced bowl. I'm so excited for this first one, honestly. Let's just get into it, let's go. Jumping right into that juicy action, we're starting off with this chipotle and honey prawn, black bean quinoa, spiced sweet potato, lime jalapeno dressing, an avocado bowl. That was quite a mouthful. This vibrant bowl is filled with so much color, so much flavor. I guarantee that you're gonna fall in love with this bowl the same way that I have. I cannot get enough. So ingredients for this bowl include quinoa. If you're using pre-packed, pre-cooked quinoa, that's absolutely fine. If not, I would always recommend soaking quinoa for at least an hour beforehand. It really just takes the bitterness away. For our quinoa and black bean salad, we're going to use some black beans, of course. I'm using some pre-cooked black beans. So we'll be needing some sweet potatoes, which we're gonna spice up. Sweet potatoes, black beans, avocado, coriander. You know the deal for this bowl already. This bowl wouldn't be complete without some sort of avocado element. So we are going to whip up an avocado and coconut yogurt dressing. So my protein of choice for this bowl are prawns. You can swap the prawns out for any protein that you enjoy. For our marinade, let's combine some chipotle paste, some red pepper paste. I used a smoky red pepper paste, some honey, lots of lime juice, some salt. Simple. We're then going to pour all of that marinade over our prawns. If you want to let them sit and just deepen in flavor, just place them in the fridge. But if you want to cook them straight away, that's absolutely fine. They'll still taste delicious. So moving on to our spiced sweet potatoes, we're going to start off by either peeling or not peeling. It's completely optional. And then chop the potatoes into, I'd say, like small to medium sized chunks. Place them on a flat lined baking tray. Place over some cumin powder, some cinnamon powder, some salt and some pepper, a little swirl of olive oil, and place them into a 200 degrees Celsius oven for around 30 minutes until they are cooked and golden. Moving on to our quinoa and black bean salad, one of my favorite elements from this bowl. This is such a great recipe just to kind of have on hand, have in a container in your fridge, ready to go, ready to add to any meal that you want to enjoy. So starting off, we'll finely dice up our red onions. We'll also do the same with our pepper. I'm using a jarred roasted pepper. If you have a fresh red pepper on hand, that will also work just as well. Chopping up whatever green herbs you enjoy, whatever you have readily available in your kitchen. I had lots of parsley along with some coriander because that's just like a prime herb for this bowl. So once the quinoa is cooked, we will grab a large bowl and we'll place in that warm quinoa along with the black beans, the fresh herbs, the chopped peppers and red onions, extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, and a good squeeze of lime juice, and just combine everything. This is a little tip for everyone who says that quinoa is bland and they just can't get into it. What you want to do is mix it with the seasoning when it's warm. I feel like it just absorbs so much more flavor. Give this method a go and let me know how it works. A word of warning that this avocado and coconut yogurt dressing or dip or sauce, whatever you want to call it, is so damn good. I'm using my very basic mini chopper to put this dressing together. If you want it a lot smoother, you could definitely use a food blender. So we need to place in the coconut yogurt, followed on by tons of fresh coriander, some jalapeno. If you've got fresh jalapenos, perfect. I didn't have fresh, I only had jarred, so that's what I used. I also placed in a good squeeze of lime juice along with some salt, and I just whizzed everything up for a minute or so until it looked something like this. The last step of this bowl is to quickly cook up these prawns, which will just take a few minutes. So I grabbed my pan, I swirled in a little bit of olive oil, and I just gently cooked some garlic for a couple of minutes just to add some extra flavor. I then placed my prawns in, squeezed over some more lime juice, and just cooked them for about 3 to 4 minutes before placing up this chipotle and honey prawn, black bean quinoa, spiced sweet potato, lime jalapeno dressing, and avocado bowl. When we're talking about mood enhancing foods, foods that are going to make you radiate from the inside out, this is a perfect example that comes to my mind. Big, bold, punchy flavors. There is no going wrong with this bowl right here. This really is the ultimate perfectly balanced workout meal. You can actually prep a lot of the elements beforehand, so super easy to put together once it's time to prepare. The combination of ingredients, the flavor profile of this bowl, I'm telling you, it is unmatched. This bowl ticks every box for me. Can you believe that we are already 1 month into the new year? How are we all feeling? If you made New Year's resolutions, are you showing up for yourself? Perhaps you're more like me and you're not really into New Year's resolutions. Instead, you're more about cultivating realistic, sustainable choices that are going to benefit your long-term future. I am definitely someone who benefits from guidance on my fitness journey, and that is why I am so excited to introduce to you CoPilot, my partner for today's video. CoPilot gives you a unique fitness program that is completely tailored to you, your schedule, and the equipment that you have, whether that be at home or in the gym. CoPilot are offering a deal to those of you who are ready to take actionable steps towards creating a healthier, more energized, happier version of yourselves. I have teamed up with an incredible CoPilot certified fitness coach by the name of Dana. Once I signed up, we had a video chat where we discussed my goals, experience, and any physical limitations that I may have. Dana was super attentive in listening to the fine details of my fitness goals for this year. I left that call feeling so confident in my coach's ability to design a plan that would enable me to make progress in my fitness journey. I found that over the past few weeks, Dana's positive, motivating attitude keeps me consistently active and engaged. If I ever have a question, she is just a message away and always happy to offer her support. Before trying out CoPilot, something that would happen quite often is me feeling quite lost in the gym. With CoPilot, you never have to worry about what to do because the app will guide you every step of your workout. Over the past few weeks, I can definitely see how my form and understanding of specific strength training exercises has definitely evolved and improved. I am feeling so much more confident in my ability to safely and effectively complete certain exercises. And of course, I am feeling the physical changes, the physical improvements. I'm feeling super strong. Click the link in my description or head over to go.mycopilot.com/Tish Wonders to receive a free 14-day trial with CoPilot. So this is my chicken, red cabbage and mango slaw, roasted broccoli, curry yogurt tahini, and rice bowl. Once again, all of the individual elements of this bowl just flow so beautifully together. The red cabbage and mango slaw just takes this one to a whole nother level. Gorgeous tasting, nourishing meal. This one is delicious. We'll be needing some red cabbage for our red cabbage and mango slaw. We'll also throw some chili, some spring onions. Of course, we'll chop up some mango and throw that in there too. We'll also be needing some broccoli. Roasted broccoli is just my thing. A classic sauce of mine that I will make over and over again. This curry yogurt tahini never gets old and it pairs really well with that mango. So starting with seasoning up our chicken, I'm using some chicken thigh fillets. You could use breast, you could use whatever part of the chicken that you enjoy. We're going to place over all of our seasoning, which includes garlic powder, cumin powder, ground coriander, some cayenne, oregano, fresh garlic, and some olive oil. So continuing with the other elements of this bowl, we are going to roast up this broccoli. I just chopped up the broccoli florets, placed them onto a lined baking sheet, placed over some salt, some garlic powder, a drizzle of olive oil, just made sure everything was covered, and placed them in a 180 degrees Celsius oven for around 15 to 20 minutes. You will want to keep an eye on the broccoli just because it can burn really quickly. So I'm very aware that raw vegetables in particular, especially this time of year, might not feel so good for everyone's body. If that is the case, you can still make this red cabbage and mango slaw. I would recommend perhaps steaming the cabbage or blanching it beforehand. I'm okay with a little bit of raw foods every now and then during this season, but you can work these recipes to suit what feels best for you. So using a sharp knife, I finally chopped up my cabbage. If you'd prefer to use a grater, that's absolutely fine. I peeled and chopped up my mango into small cubes, followed on by chopping up the spring onions and the red chili. Into a bowl, I placed in the chopped red cabbage along with some salt, some apple cider vinegar, and a swirl of extra virgin olive oil, just simply massaging it with my hands just to break the red cabbage down. So I placed in the chopped mango, spring onions, red chili, just mixing everything well, and I just set this bowl aside. Moving on to this classic forever, I will love curry yogurt tahini dressing. It's just one of those dressings that elevates anything that you eat it with. So to a bowl, we'll add in our tahini, our yogurt of choice. It could be a Greek yogurt, coconut yogurt, whatever you're working with, some cumin, some curry powder, some salt, a little touch of maple syrup, a good squeeze of lemon juice, and a little touch of water just to kind of thin everything out when we're mixing it up. Another one that you'll probably want to make a big batch of because it is so unbelievably delicious. The way that you cook your chicken is completely optional. If it's easier to throw it in the oven, then do that. I was just in the mood for kind of like a griddle cooked piece of chicken. So I grabbed my chicken thighs, just placing them onto my griddle pan, turning them over, making sure that they were cooked thoroughly. So to serve everything up, I cooked some white basmati. You can serve it up with whatever rice that you enjoy. If you'd prefer to use quinoa, then that's absolutely fine. Topped with a generous swirl of that curry yogurt tahini. The combination of sweet and spicy and all the different texture elements of this bowl, oh my goodness, this one is beautiful. The colorful tones of all of the ingredients in this bowl is enough to just uplift my mood just by looking at it. So you can only imagine how I felt once I devoured this bowl. Another beautifully balanced, flavor-packed workout meal that I love. Simplicity at its finest. Last but definitely not least is this crispy teriyaki tofu, edamame hummus, mushroom brown rice, and kimchi bowl. Crispy tofu is definitely nothing new, but the way in which I pair this crispy tofu with that edamame hummus and that mushroom brown rice will have your taste buds singing for joy. Ingredients for this bowl include some firm tofu, which you can find readily available everywhere. I'm using a shop-bought teriyaki sauce. If you'd prefer to make your own, perfect. This is just a shortcut that I'm taking for today. We'll be needing some brown rice. If you'd prefer white rice, that will work perfectly too. We'll also need some mushrooms for our mushroom rice. And for our edamame hummus, we are going to need some edamame beans along with our usual hummus ingredients, so tahini, lemon juice, olive oil, all of it. And lastly, I highly recommend you top this bowl with some kimchi. Let's start off by preparing our mushroom brown rice. Takes the longest, so it makes sense to do it first. We need to chop up our spring onions, finely chop up our garlic, and then also chop up our mushrooms. So grab a saucepan and on a low to medium heat, place in some butter. You really want to make sure that you don't burn the garlic. Just cook it very, very gently. After a couple of minutes, we can place in the chopped mushrooms. Again, just stirring everything, cooking everything, mixing everything. I like to splash in a little bit of tamari. I actually placed in a little bit of salt too. So whilst the mushrooms were cooking down, I combined some boiling water with a vegetable stock cube. So once the liquid in the mushrooms have evaporated and they are properly cooked down, full of flavor, we can place in our washed brown rice, followed on by our vegetable stock. Make sure everything is combined. You want to bring the rice to a boil before reducing the heat, covering the pot, and letting it cook for about 30 to 35 minutes. Once cooked, you can fluff your rice up. A really simple, easy way just to flavor this rice up and just make it extra delicious with this meal. This edamame hummus is a great alternative if you want a little switch up from using chickpeas. It's super high in protein, but not only that, it also has a really fresh, kind of light taste that I really love. So I'm using some frozen edamame beans. I poured some boiling hot water over them. I left them for about 3 to 4 minutes before draining the water off. Into my food processor, I placed the edamame beans in, along with some tahini, some salt, some extra virgin olive oil, some lemon juice, a touch of fresh garlic. I don't want it to be too garlicky, especially because the garlic's raw. I'm very mindful of that. So just a little bit of garlic and some fresh parsley. I blitzed it until smooth, made sure everything was on point in terms of taste for my taste buds. Perfect to store in the fridge if you want a quick dip of any sort, or if you want to add it as an extra addition to a bowl like this. You want to take your tofu, preferably a firm tofu, and chop it into cubes. Place the tofu cubes into a bowl, add some salt, some garlic powder, a little splash of soy sauce or tamari, and just combine everything, mix everything well. With a crispy coating, we'll place over some corn flour. Once again, just making sure everything is covered. So there are two options here. If you are more of a bake in the oven type person, or that's just what you're feeling for, feel free to place this tofu onto a lined sheet, place it into an oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. If you're like me and you're just in the mood for some pan-cooked food, grab your pan, heat a little bit of oil, and place in your tofu cubes. Cook until every side is crispy and golden, looking something like this. So remove your tofu cubes from the pan and place in your teriyaki sauce. This is the one that I'm using. Like I mentioned, if you want to make your own teriyaki, that is absolutely fine. There are certain shortcuts that I will take every now and then in the kitchen, and this is one of them for today. By a little touch of corn flour mixed with some water. This is just going to thicken everything up. Wait a minute or so for your teriyaki sauce to thicken up, and then place that crispy tofu back in, just covering everything with that gorgeous sauce. I had zero self-control when it came to trying to resist eating this tofu. It was impossible. If you're anything like me and you're not the biggest fan of tofu, this style of preparing it will convert you. All that was left was to plate up this bowl. So just 3 elements in this one with some added kimchi, so that edamame hummus, that mushroom rice, that crispy tofu, topped with some kimchi, delicious, a plant-powered, protein-packed workout meal, garlicky mushroom taste of that rice, paired with that edamame hummus, which has all of the things that you love about hummus. It just has this very, very fresh and light taste. Top that with that crispy teriyaki tofu and that spicy kimchi. Yeah, this one is a winner. I've just shown you 3 protein-packed bowls. Hopefully there's at least one bowl which is calling your name. Let me know in the comments. Thank you to CoPilot for partnering on today's video. For more balanced bowls, you can check out my recipe ebooks over on my website. I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye.